Wow. First and foremost, giving all praises, glory, and honor be to the Heavenly Father and His Son, Yahawah, Sham, Yahawashi, Sham, Wadash. Those are the true names of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Yahawah equals He is, He exists. That's the Father's name. Yahawashi equals He saves, He delivers. That's the Son's name. And Kodash equals a spirit that's holy. That's how you say the Holy Spirit in the Lashawan Kodash. Lashawan equals language or tongue. Kodash, once again, equals holy. So that's how that's the language, that's the holy tongue, the holy language, which we did speak before we were brought and taught this colonized language, which this was beat into us. Okay, so all this, these words, this language that really don't make sense, but multiple words mean different things. The same word means different things and stuff like that. It's a corrupt language. It's a servant's language. Okay, it was a language given to the heathens, right, as well as Spanish, as well as Mandarin, as well as Russian, as well as Slavic, German, whatever, any other language that's not the Lashawan Kodash, not the Hebrew, the proper ancient Hebrew, is not a holy language. Okay? So, second of all, I want to give double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the great millstone, which rule well and teach well and sincerely taught us this truth. And shalom to the Lord's hopeful elect. Alright, out there that's pushing and preaching and continuing in this truth, man, and maintaining themselves. Shalom, shalom. It's your brother Yarmi Kazak, back with hopefully another edifying lesson through the spirit, power, and strength of Yahawah Ba'ashem, Yahawashi, Ba'ashem, Kakadash. Alright, I got about 30 minutes, and just want to hit the button. And I think I entitled this one, Unholy Actions or Unholy Actions from Unholy Men. Or another term I was going to name it was unspeakable acts will occur, right? But we're moving in those times, and let's go to, I named it Precious in His Sight, but I wanted to name it what I just said, because along the lines of these things are going to occur. Matter of fact, let's get that Precious. All right. I had a lot of titles. But this is Psalms 72:14. He shall redeem their soul from deceit and violence, and precious shall their blood be in His sight. Now who? I was talking about His saints. I was talking about His elect, the remnant, the hopeful elect. Okay? So your death, if knowing what a martyr is, okay, someone that dies for a religious, belief, okay, right, or a cause in general, like Fred Hampton, right, for the Black Panthers, where that was, the way they came in and took out his whole family. It was like 999 shots fired, and the Black Panthers, I believe, only fired like 2 shots, right, because it was an ambush. It was set up. So they were martyred for that cause, right? Which at that point in time, the truth wasn't really flowing. So they was just in that Black Panther spirit, right? That, Black power and all of that. But they knew that this white man was an evil ass individual, right? But they didn't have the truth. But they all got martyred for what they believed in. Yahawashi, in a sense, was martyred for what he believed in, but he came back understanding that, because it was prophecy to be fulfilled. And the lamb's blood is extremely important. John the Baptist got martyred for what he believed in. Okay, took out, head chopped out, martyred for what he believed in. Stood still, right? Stood bold. So the point is, you ask yourself, why would Yahawah do these things? It's for a purpose to be fulfilled. Right? It's prophecy to be fulfilled. And when these things are done, you are precious in His sight. It's not like He's looking at you like you're low, or He didn't, your death is in extreme. Look at Yahawashi. Let's get that in Isaiah 53. your death is extremely important, man. You know, we don't, and we know, because the comfort of this truth is the death is not the end. So we're not dying like, man, this is it. No, we're dying knowing 1 Thessalonians, the 4th chapter, all right, verse 18, we're comforted knowing that, hey, Yahawashi, we be of that number. We die in the name. We die in this truth. We coming right back. Okay, this is Isaiah 53 and 10. Yet it pleased Yahawah to bruise him. He hath put him to grief. When thou shalt make his soul an offering for sin, he shall see his seed, he shall prolong his days, and the pleasure of Yahawah shall prosper in his hand. So it pleased him. Please is along the lines of precious. If something pleases you, it's to do with like pleasure. It's good. It's something that's prosperous. Something that's, you know, is beneficial. So Yahawashi, who the world even calls Jesus, right, got took out for a beneficial purpose and then was brought back. That was Yahawah's sacrifice for his people. Okay, that's what it is. We couldn't give no more lambs and goats and sheep and all of that. It didn't matter. So the Father himself had to do that. And then once you do this, once you give a sacrifice, it's to atone for sins, right? Yahawashi was atoning and he took on all that for the nation. So it pleases the Father because it also gives a way back for the saints to come in correct, to come in proper. A way for us to get into that new covenant, which we will never, ever fall from. So we are, you know, bringing it back to the word precious is Yahawah wants us to make it, you know? What is that, man? Give the kingdom. He wants to give you the kingdom. Let me see if I can find it. It's the Father's will. This is Luke 12. And I'll start at, let's go up some. Yeah, start at 22. And he said unto his disciples, therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life. All right? Take no thought for your life. What ye shall eat, neither for the body what ye shall put on. So when famine, pestilence, all of that is setting in, we're not thinking about what everybody else is thinking about. Oh, the grocery store is empty. You know, it's no more bread, it's no more meat, it's no more, the trucks are not running no more, so supplies aren't getting anywhere. We know that's coming. Okay? We're not sitting back preparing for it in a carnal sense of stacking up canned goods and all of that. Yeah, we got what we got, you know, and that is what it is. We ain't prepping. It's no doomsday prepping because of these scriptures, because the understanding that Yahawah Shem Yahawashi is going to care for us. Now, if he cares for us, you care for something that's precious in your sight. You deal with something that's precious in your sight. You know, you're not going to care for somebody that doesn't mean anything to you. Okay? Once again, we are woman to Yahawah Yahawashi. So look at you dealing with a woman. Are you going to protect your woman when you leave? Do you make sure the door is locked? All right? Do you make sure she got food? Are you, that's 1 Timothy 3 and 5 and 4. Ruling over your own household, ruling over your children, right? Having them in subjection, taking care of your house. If you don't, 1 Timothy 5 and 8, right? You're an infidel. Okay? So the way that you take care of your woman, how much more Yahawah Yahawashi? He's going to make sure that we're taken care of in these times. Now, that all comes back to you having faith and believing in that. Because I could say it all day, but if you don't got faith, then I'm just saying it. You don't believe in it. You don't care. You know? You're like, oh, you just saying that, bro, but hey, you know, I'm about to make sure I got a whole shed full of goods just because we know those times is coming. Man, well, do your thing then. Okay? But that ain't the right way. Because the carnal mind is enmity against the Most High. So that's taking you away from that spiritual sense, and that's really, your faith is weak. You're putting your faith in what you can go out and purchase. You understand? So you're trying to purchase your way through Jacob's trouble. You can't purchase your way through Jacob's trouble. Money is not gonna matter, man. You look at these shows, and for my gamers out there, brothers that play Fallout, in Fallout, what was money? It was pointless. It had no point. What was the value in Fallout after the nukes hit and all that? You was using bottle caps. They had a different currency, right? Money was just paper. Nobody cared about money. That's what we're moving into, where the dollar is collapsing. And brother put out, brother's been doing lessons on Mexico, trying to make you pay for gas with crypto and all of that. We're moving towards that digital currency. So paper cash, as you know right now, that's transitioning out of here, man. It's out of the way. We might as well have a funeral for the US dollar. Okay? Getting back to it, verse 22, Luke 12. And he said unto his disciples, therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what ye shall eat, neither for the body what ye shall put on. What Christians always say? Jesus, take the wheel. But they never let him take the wheel. They always want to drive till they find out their license is suspended, man. Okay? You don't have, you're not going to be able to drive your way through here. Yahawah Hashem Yahawashi has to get you through this traffic that you got to go through. He knows the correct paths. He knows to take the back roads and how to use them and where the cops at and all of this. So you trying to, traverse through these ways on your own, you're going to fail every single time. Verse 23, the life is more than meat and the body is more than raiment. All right? This is what? This is a temple. Okay? This is a place of worship. This body, it's a place of worship. So a temple, I'm going to put it in perspective for you Christians to understand. A church, okay? A place of worship. Do you go to the church and you wear all this bullshit and do all this bullshit and play all that whack ass music and smoke all your drugs and do all that at church? Okay? I mean, hey, these Christians, they do whatever. I saw them twerking in the church the other day on the internet. I was like, but they doing whatever in church. But in a righteous sense, you don't supposed to bring all that bullshit to the church. So understanding now that this place is a temple, you don't supposed to bring that shit to your body at all. You're not supposed to bring all that leaven, all that sin to your body, man. This is a holy place, right? Keep that in mind. So it's more than raiment. You are obligated to take care of it. You are obligated to not defile it. If you defile it, then Yahawah will take you out, all right? Because you're not treating what he gave you right. He basically lended you a car, a vessel, a transportation device. You could walk here and there. He lended you something to get around, where you is the soul, okay? And he lended you a vessel to transport yourself around this earth, all right? And in that, it's his, so you're supposed to give worship to him, all right? Don't forget who put you in this vessel. Jeremiah 1:5, who knew you, right? He knew you before you went into the womb, Hey, Shalom, Yahawah Hashem Yahawashi Barak. Ahtham to you brothers on the comment board. Shalom. All right. Verse 24, consider the ravens, for they neither sow nor reap, which neither have storehouse nor barn, and Yahawah feedeth them. How much more are ye better than the fowls? Once again, the animals are, they're good, they're cool, they're chilling. They're moving along. Ever since they was created, they're moving on that instruction. They're not tripping. They're not out here stressing, That's one thing that kills a lot of Jake, which they don't understand, is stress. That's why it says in Sirach 26, and let's get that. All right. Understanding this, it jumps down to your decisions. Okay? Because this is a decision. Sirach 26:1. Blessed is the man that hath a virtuous wife, for the number of his days shall be double. A virtuous wife rejoiceth her husband, and he shall fulfill the years of his life in peace. A good wife is a good portion, which shall be given in the portion of them that fear Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi. Now, if you fear Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi, okay, then a woman is, as we know, is a gift from Yahawah. So, by you first making wisdom your wife, making wisdom your spouse, as it says in Wisdom of Solomon, the 8th chapter, right? Making wisdom your spouse. So you're married, you know, you're listening, and that's what? That's first fearing Yahawah, because that's the beginning of wisdom. So by you making that first decision, then he's going to bestow upon you things to better your life, which a woman is a helpmeet to help you and support you and get through this life easier, right? And what did it say? She doubles, right? Blessed is the man that hath a virtuous wife, for the number of his days shall be double. So what does that entail? She lowers your stress. She makes it easier and simpler, man. You know? So she helps. She supports. All right? So lucky. All right? So let's keep it going. This is, let's go back to Luke 12 and 25. And which of you with taking thought can add to his statue 1 cubit? Can any of you grow 1 cubit? Can you grow your body right now? No. Okay? And that's something that we got to understand in those spiritual bodies. I will be able to do that. Right? But this is furthermore letting you know that Yahawah could do this. Yahawah could do these type of things. He can, every time Samson got the ability, it wasn't his own ability. It wasn't, you know, it was because the spirit of Yahawah came upon him, and then he did this, and then he did that, right? So this all goes back to Yahawah, you know? That's why, hey, as I said earlier, you can't purchase your way through Jacob's trouble. It's impossible. Okay, verse 26. If ye then be not able to do that thing which is least, why take ye thought for the rest? Consider the lilies, how they grow. They toil not, they spin not, and yet I say unto you that Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. If then power so clothe the grass, which is today in the field and tomorrow is cast into the oven, how much more will he clothe you, O ye of little faith? Are you, and that it goes back to the word, you know, self-esteem, self-confidence. This truth gives you confidence. It builds your esteem. It gives you it fixes your mood, you know. So, you know, Jake, man, Jake love, especially Jake in the world, they love to go to somebody's stupid ass therapy. Okay, when therapy is known not to work. Okay, who are you supposed to talk it out with, man? Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi, right? Or a brother. Okay, these you know, issues and things of that nature. Thinking about David and Jonathan. Right? They made a covenant. They was that tight. They made a covenant, you know, and they was just that tight. They trusted in one another. So he was able to tell him these type of things, right? And Jonathan, I believe he knew that he had to know. How could you not know, seeing what David was doing, that David was the anointed one, right? And that he was going to take your position as king. And Jonathan would have been the new king, right? But Jonathan was he made a covenant with him, knowing that. So it's like, he don't want it. Hey, Yahawah chose you. So ultimately, Jonathan had great faith and not caring about the position. He trusted in the will of Yahawah, because this is what Yahawah wants to do, right? He didn't want to continue Saul's lineage ruling. He wanted to change and give it to somebody, you know, that as they say, one that takes the crown many didn't think of. All right, that's in Sirach somewhere. Salaki, I can't remember it though. All right, but it's important to know Yahawah does those surprises. He comes out of nowhere with type of things, and that's how it's gonna be. But we expect it though. All right, so you're gonna be in Jacob's trouble, like fat. You might go a day without food, and then he throws you a little surprise. He throws you a little, you know, alley-oop out of nowhere. Boom. Box of oranges or something. Damn. Salaki. All right. And job calling. Man, that's the thing, man. We get up out of here. We ain't got to answer to these Edomites no more. Okay. We get up out of here. We just finally be sovereign. All right. But hey, wrapping this up. I got about 10 more minutes. Back to Luke 12 and 29. And seek not ye what ye shall eat or what ye shall drink, neither be ye of doubtful mind. So doubt leads to what? It leads to fear. Okay? And we know the fearful and unbelieving, that's what doubt does. It leads to fear and unbelief. Okay? So consider that. Understand that. Put that in your mind. Don't be out here fearing. Don't be out here doubting. We have not been given a spirit of fear. Okay? Yeah, you might have anxiety. Okay? You got, things are scary. All right? Yeah, stuff happens. And we understand that. But ultimately, you got to pray. You got to fast. You got to, hey, what we said earlier, what the Christians say, Jesus take the wheel. You got to let Yahawashi take the wheel. And we truly yet let Yahawashi take the wheel. Okay? They don't never let Yahawashi take the wheel. They don't know the names. And they don't really trust. They try to buy their way through Jacob's trouble. Okay? They try to buy their way. A regular Christian, man, they see a new car, they see money, they see a new house. God blessing you, brother. God bless. No, that doesn't mean shit. Doesn't mean nothing, man. Okay? Alright? That's not a symbol that Yahawashi is with you because of finances. Alright? Brother got a precept. Ephesians 2 and 8. For by grace are ye saved through faith, and that not of yourselves. It is the gift of Yahawah. Exactly. Okay? We understand by faith. And how do you show your faith? By works. So going back to 2nd Esdras, the 9th chapter, verse 7. Alright, by faith and works. So you show your faith by your works, by how you live, by how you carry yourself, how you move about, the things that you do. That includes lessons, that includes charity, alms, that includes showing up, being around, that includes love, all these things, keeping the Shabbat, keeping the feast days, right? So you and if it comes to it, being martyred for this truth. So pray for more faith. When faith is a gift, we understand that. So pray for more of it. If you feel like your faith is low or doubt is creeping in, it's just a demon that's trying to mess with you, that's trying to pull you off your game, that's trying to throw you some challenges. You gotta, when that doubt jumps in your mind, you gotta automatically rebuke that. Okay? ASAP. Nah. Man, because you had that moment, you're like, man, is Yahawashi dealing with me? All right? And hey, I think everybody had that moment, in a sense, that Garden of Gethsemane moment, But you gotta, hey, just tough it up, go through it, think about the past. That's why the scriptures is there, for you to go back and seek the instruction, the inspiration, what happened beforehand to our forefathers. Yahawah got them through this. He can definitely get you through, all right, what we about to go through. Okay? Getting a little bit more, and then about to wrap it up. Luke 12 and 30. For all these things do the nations of the world seek after, and your Father knoweth that ye have need of these things. Before you pray, he already knows what you need. All right? So, but you still have to make your call into the election sure. You still have to go through the routine. You still have to praise. Oh yeah, the Father knows my heart. Okay, but still show it. He knows your heart. You love him on the inside. Okay, great. But still show it. You got a female, she cheat on your ass, son. But I love you. Bitch, you ain't showing that. Okay? You gotta show that. You love him, but you didn't continue to, it's crazy. You have to continuously show this love, consistency. Okay? It ain't about how many videos you did last month, okay, or last week, or whatever, or you broke down Revelations 13th chapter. It's the greatest. It's a Hall of Fame breakdown. Okay, what you gonna do today? You know, it's consistency. It's ongoing. All right, so continue to do it, man. All right. But rather seek ye the kingdom of power, and all these things shall be added unto you. Fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Going back to, you are precious in his sight. Okay? He has pleasure in giving you the kingdom. He has pleasure in raising you up. It pleased him for Yahawashi to go through what he had so he could bring him up. This is my son who I am very much I'm pleased of. So pleasure, precious, please, all of that aligning. Yahawah wants this to happen, but he has to put you through a test. You know, man, my son playing basketball, and he nice. He like the nicest one on his team. You know what I'm saying? And he had to go up against this team, and it was these Jakes. And man, they was like, they had an undefeated season. He had an undefeated season, but his team wasn't that good, you know. But he was doing his thing. He went up against these Jakes, and they all Jakes. Like, they all Jakes. Like, they tall, they strong, shit. They know how to play better and good together. And he lost. He dropped 30 on him though, but that don't even mean nothing. But I knew it already. I was like, yeah, they cold, they nice. You know, you got to go through this. You know, this is gonna be a situation where you probably gonna lose because these boys is cold. Their team is better, their coach is better, etc., etc. But you got to go through this, and you got to take these challenges. You got to take these obstacles. You got to get knocked down some to bring you back up. Look at Jordan losing what he lost. He came in 84. He lost 7 years straight, you know? And then he finally started going. So you got to take those losses. We had to take these losses. We've been through 7 captivities. And then you also got minor captivities. You got Arab slave trade, the Indian Ocean slave trade, Pacific, you know, slave. You got all these slave trades that we went through. All right, from South America to Africa, from South America, you know, whatever. All right, Jake was shipped everywhere. You know, we had to feel all this humility, right? So it's beautiful. And Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi put us through all that to refine us, you know. And we still precious in his sight. So something that you want to be, you want to be extremely like clean and good, etc. Like you wash your car, you gotta go through it. You know, you gotta put it through that. You gotta put it through these challenges, so it can get through these challenges, and you know it can take these challenges, right? So it's worthy, and that's what I've been trying to get to. The Wadi Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi is worthy. Right? So we are precious in his sight because we are worthy, and be consistently worthy. And that goes back. How you know you worthy? You got to first know your worth. Going back to the self-esteem and the self-confidence, right? And we have that in the truth, not in ourselves, right? So, hey, with that being said, man, I got to slide up out of here. Giving all praises, honor, and glory once again be to Yahawah, Ba'asham, Yahawashi, Ba'asham, Rakakwadash, and double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the great millstone, which rule well and teach well and sincerely taught us the truth. Ate the water for the precepts. Hey, as always, Kwam Yasha Allah, and Abad Babal. All right, keep the faith, keep the faith, keep the faith. Okay, Shalom, Shalom.